we'll get started here. So who is Callie? Where are you from?
So I was born and raised in Oakland, California in
Okay.
1975.
75.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oakland is the land of the hustlers, huh?
Oh yeah, I learned definitely how to hustle and definitely how to protect my head. Yeah, it was a heck of an experience. You know, growing up in Oakland, my whole objective was to get out of Oakland.
Okay.
From a kid. Like, that was my ultimate goal, you know, was to get up out of there. It was just nothing but violence, and, you know, you had to be concerned with something happening to you or your family.
Yeah.
And I just knew in my spirit, because I feel like I've been here before.
Yeah.
So I knew in my spirit it wasn't the way a human should live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Far as siblings or anything, you got any siblings?
Yeah, so I had an older brother, rest in peace. He was 4 years older than me. He ended up committing suicide my senior year in high school, so that changed the whole trajectory of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I have a younger brother, 7 years apart, and he was the cause of a lot of friction in the house, and you know, yeah. So yeah.
So you're the middle child.
Yeah, I was the middle. Yeah. Now, yeah, I'm the oldest and the only one. That's basically.
They say the middle child be the ones that be the problems. I read on one of your posts that you are villainous by nature.
Well, yeah.
You feel that's because you're a middle child? You had to fight for attention?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I think about it, maybe so. But what changed me my older brother was a genius.
Okay.
Like I told you, you remind me, you got the same type of aura. Genius. Dressed immaculately. I never seen him wear a pair of tennis shoes.
Okay.
Got up, every night before school, iron his clothes, just to a T, line his hair. We both had waves like you. Like I was telling you, we was obsessed with our hair. And so I was coming behind that.
Okay.
So I liked sports. He didn't play sports. And what changed my life, before he graduated from high school, I was just class clown. I loved to make people laugh, have fun, and, you know, wasn't too concerned with grades.
Yeah.
So I went to his graduation.
Okay.
In 1989, and he was valedictorian, graduated with a 4.5 GPA, had a full scholarship to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Wow.
On an engineering scholarship. Right then, my life changed. I was like, dang, you could get love and hella attention from doing something good and positive.
Right.
And so right then and there, I was like, man, I'm about to change my life story. I was getting 3.0, barely, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so when I saw that, I changed my life for the better academically.
Okay.
But I was also into sports. He wasn't. So I excelled academically and athletically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you had that gift.
Well.
Okay, well, I want to digress away from that and talk from what I know you from, and that's fitness. I remember big swole dude working out, you know, and that's where you kind of caught my attention.
Uh-huh.
So tell me about fitness. You've always worked out your entire life?
Yeah. So when I grew up, a lot of the neighborhood kids was going to youth authority.
Okay.
They was getting in trouble, going to juvenile hall, youth authority, coming back just ripped. But my love of fitness first started with my uncle.
Okay.
What I considered back then, he was super buff to me as a kid. Mm-hmm. But now I look back, he was like just a fit guy, you know. He worked in construction, and he was an electrician. And so right then as a kid, I saw him as what a man was supposed to look like. Fit and shaped muscles.
Yeah.
So that was my first interest into working out. Then what happened was I took a super interest in working out. Of course, the neighborhood kids, everybody was ripped, shredded, coming back from YA, juvenile, so all of us was muscular, thin but muscular.
Right.
And so once I decided to get into sports, my first year, bro, I went out my 9th grade year. I didn't play Pop Warner or nothing. I went to high school, 9th grade year, went out for the football team.
Okay.
They let me make the team, but they said I was too small.
Wow.
I was only 98 pounds or
Damn.
something like that. Yeah. And so they let me ride the bench the whole season
Okay.
because they said I was too small.
Yeah.
Every game I rode that bench, I got more pissed, more angry, more pissed. And I said, I'm going to show these motherfuckers.
Okay.
And so that summer, I worked out and gained 40 pounds.
Oh, wow.
So I came back about 140.
Okay.
But I was an assassin. I came back. I'll never forget, this is what made me famous. The biggest, he was on varsity. Mm-hmm. He was on his way to college, top running back. He was picked to go to every college in the country. So we was at practice, so it was JV against varsity. He came through the hole, and we scrimmaging full throttle, right?
Okay.
He come through the hole like this, straight from me. I hit him in his chest, picked him up, slammed him, his helmet fell off.
Wow.
I was a superstar from then on
go.
out. They put me on varsity. I didn't even pay a down of junior varsity.
Okay.
And so right then I made a name for myself, and by the time I graduated from, I was that guy then. I was getting recruited from every college in the country.
Okay.
And only guy of my school for years to get that notoriety. And so that's when my love of working out started, was that after that 9th grade year.
Okay.
And I just got, everybody thought, I didn't know what steroids were until I was 34 years old. Okay. But everybody was saying I was on, they called it Ben Johnson back then.
Okay.
Because Ben Johnson was a track runner, beat Carl Lewis, was hella swole. Mm-hmm. And everybody back then said, if you was on Ben Johnson, you was on steroid. Mm. So, so I just got, every year I just kept getting bigger and bigger. Senior year, ran track. My brother killed himself. I went dark.
Your senior year
in
high school. Wow.
So I went dark, bro. I already had committed to Fresno State. And I was on my way to Fresno, and he killed himself in January, right before his birthday. And so I went dark. You know what I mean? I didn't really notice it. I had 2 friends I was telling you about earlier. Later down the line, they told me, and, I know I went kind of introverted and didn't talk as much or whatever. So I was like, I went dark, and I went to college with that darkness, and, ended up getting in trouble in college at Fresno State. Mm. And that's what ultimately led me to go to prison. Mm. Yeah. So, yeah, that was, man, I look back, it's like a movie. It's like, dang, I did that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I could see how that could mess you up, man.
Yeah. And then what really messed it up was my mother lied to me. She knew he killed himself, but she acted like it was 50-50. Mm. Like, I don't believe he did it. It could have been somebody that his roommate might have set it up, and, different stuff like that. Yeah. But come 30 years down the line, she knew what happened. Okay. He called her before he did it.
So that just took you into a negative spiral, which landed you
in. So it took me, when that happened in January, I'm going to college, I went to college in August to Fresno State, because they had where, even before August, like June, you was able to go on campus, get a feel of the campus, see how it operates. So you figure January, February, March, that's about 6 months. When that happened, I knew I was on my way to college. So I just started working out even crazier. Mm. I'm like, I'm going to go to college and just kill everybody. You know what I mean? So I took that anger and that frustration and that depression and just turned it into working out, becoming an animal. And, got to college, Fresno State in 1993. And the end of 93, and just went, because I had the prop 48 for football because my SAT score wasn't good. Mm. And I was an animal. But, like I told you earlier, I used to get migraines terribly during that same period. So I was dealing with all this, having migraines, and it was, it was something.
Did that college transition, was it tough for you to have, I guess, like being out of your parents' house, being on your own?
Oh, no, I loved it. Because I ran away as a kid a couple of times for months.
Okay.
So I was used to experiencing being on my own.
Okay.
Yeah. So, no, it was awesome, man. It just, I went to college, and I had a roommate at the time that took me in because my college dorm stuff didn't go through.
Yeah.
And I moved in with my now fraternity brother, good friend, and he got into a situation where I was protecting him and had to go buy a gun.
Okay.
And that led me down. It was just a dark period. You know what I mean? It was, I look back on it, it was fun because I was working out, getting buffer and stronger and more athletic. And, another situation happened where I went darker for protecting my roommate. And it was wild, man. I got my movie coming out, so it's going to be in the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you said it landed you in prison. So I had a 48-hour jail experience, and it scared me straight.
Yeah.
How was that going to prison? And, I mean, did you go in afraid? Like,
no, I felt like I was supposed to be there.
Really?
Yeah. So all my life been structured. So you figure as a kid, school, work. I worked since I was 12.
Okay.
So I was school, work, and repeat. Work out, school, work, go to work, work out. So when I got to college, it was the same thing, and I joined the fraternity.
Okay.
My fraternity was, fraternity is like a gang. You know what I mean? And so when I went to prison, I went in swole. I was 190, looked like a bodybuilder. And not only that, all my life I was like a celebrity. When I go to jail, they like, you was on the news. You went to Fresno State. I was like a god.
Got you.
And I was already swole, so I came into jail. Bro, I went to jail. I was a shot caller. They like labeled me the shot caller.
Okay.
At 19. And I could have bailed out for $1,000. I told my just leave me. That's how I got institutionalized in a matter of days in jail.
Wow.
And then it was like, we gonna bail you out. Nah, leave me. So I stayed in county jail 9 months fighting the case. And I got railroaded because I got offered probation, took it, they revoked it. And I had to go to trial and lost and end up getting 7 years. And you
had to do a full 7?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, because it was when I got sentenced, the law changed to where you had to do 85% of a violent crime. And so I ended up having to do all of it 100% because getting in trouble and gang stuff and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I went in prison, man. I told you I will start practicing Islam in county jail. So the first prison I went to, I was, a top level Muslim. And so I just went in, bro. When I think about it now, it's like I said, I think I've been here before because it just felt like that was what I was supposed to go through. Never scared, and then, like I said, I was like a celebrity everywhere I went.
Right.
Because everybody back then, firstly was if you was swole, you was like a god.
Yeah. So you was already in there ready.
Oh, yeah.
You were ready made.
Yeah.
What did prison teach you? What did you learn from it?
I learned, because I told you I love psychology. I learned the psychology of humanity. How to, like you say, deal with hand gestures, expressions, all this stuff. It was like college for me. I read a book a day. If I wasn't reading, I was working out or playing chess. That was my routine on the daily. Work out, read, and play chess every day and eat a ton of food. Right. That was my daily occurrence.
Right.
And but yeah, it taught me how to deal with humanity. the good, the bad, the ugly, the most terrible individuals I was around. I already had the discipline. That's why, I was always at top level at whatever I did. I was just out-disciplined everybody.
Would you say that discipline was just in you?
Oh, yeah, it was just in me from a kid.
From a kid.
Yeah, I was born with discipline.
Okay.
And then I told you I had my older brother.
Right.
And he
sounded like he was real disciplined.
epitome of discipline. So I was coming from
OCD
that.
Damn near.
And my mom, like the house had to be spotless.
Okay. Well, that's where it coming from.
Yeah.
That was the example right there.
I never wore a hat till I was about 40 years old.
Wow.
Because my mom was always in my head because I had waves, and I never wore a hat, clothes pressed but every night before I get up. And it's funny because I'm back to that routine. Right now, I got back to that routine.
Was mom military or
no? She just came up.
Military?
Yeah, she came up under a harsh father.
Okay.
That was just real abusive and real army-like. You know what I mean? Like drill sergeant. So that passed down. And we would have chores. Every Sunday you gotta cut the grass. Every Wednesday, your day to take out the garbage. Like everything was structured.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, a little bit back to fitness. I see that you have transformed your life and you're no longer bodybuilding and looking to build those big muscles. Now you're a fruitarian, vegetarian?
Yeah, basically a fruitarian.
Fruitarian.
Yeah. I eat fruit 95% of the time. Only time I have something different is if I have a salad or some mushrooms. And that's like maybe once or twice a week.
And what inspired that? Why did you just 180?
So, I had the heart attack in 2021, so my outlook and on what I consume became everything.
Okay.
And so I went on salmon and spinach a year and a half at 7 p.m. That's all I would eat was at 7 p.m. And at that point, I was holding 195 still swole. So right then, my mentality and the thing that what we've been taught, we had to eat 3 times a day. Like, I've been lied to. And so I started going down a rabbit hole of everything I've been lied to about, especially with nutrition. And so what happened was I seen a guy named Bobby Smith on, he was live streaming and his video got fed to me on Facebook. And he was chopping up a watermelon. I mean, he was having fun, right? He's like, this is all I eat, boy. I've been eating watermelon 60 days straight, nothing but watermelon. I'm like, what? So as he talking, I'm Googling the watermelon, like how many calories it is, right? A whole watermelon. And it's like 1,400 calories. I'm like, and I never thought, the only time I ever fasted when I was a Muslim for 2 years, I did the fast, and that's that Ramadan. Fast. Yeah, Ramadan. That fasting is nothing. That's just what they call intermittent fasting. That was tough to me. And I'm like, watermelon 1,400 calories. I'm like, I'm only eating 800 right now. For a year and a half, been living, sustaining muscle, everything. I said, let me try it. And that was my first time ever mono eating. They call it mono eat fast or whatever. And, bro, it changed my life in like 2 days. Like, everything. I got compassionate for animals. I went down the rabbit hole studying of nutrition and just my whole perspective on life changed.
Wow.
Yeah. And right then I started, I went down that rabbit hole of all like vegans and fruitarians and people that fast. And I'm like, this is a whole nother world that we not, haven't been taught.
Right.
And I knew about vegans and all that type of stuff. I used to think they was nuts. Yeah. You know what I mean? But for me, it was like, I need to try whatever I can and stay living.
Right.
So let me try this. And, and when you do your research, the people that lived the longest in humanity were fruitarians. You know, the Romans and all them, they was living 500-600 years just eating fruit. So I went down that rabbit hole. Then I learned my blood type. Type A. I was never supposed to eat meat in my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the? You know what I mean? No wonder I felt bad when I eat beef or chicken or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that started that. But initially, I would have to say the heart attack is what changed my perspective on life.
Are you able to expound more on the heart attack? You okay talking about it?
Oh, yeah. Well,
So walk me through it. Like, how did it happen? Where were you at?
so what happened was I got some dental work done.
Okay.
So did I get some pulled? I think I got some teeth in the back pulled and some implants.
Okay.
So they had me on not Percocets. So the day after I got the work done, I took a Percocet the next morning.
Okay.
So this is the day of the heart attack. So I took the Percocet, feeling good, worked out. We did our normal routine. And that night, I ate something I never eat. I was getting these meals called vertical meals by Stan Efferton. He's a famous powerlifter, bodybuilder. He had his own line of meals, which is full of sodium, beef, and white rice. The I was never supposed to eat in my life. So I had one of those and something I never have, an ice cream sandwich. And I don't eat dairy, lactose intolerant, everything. So that night, just think, I took a Percocet in the morning, I ate these two things, I went to sleep, and bro, I'm dead asleep, just pop up like this. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, damn, babe, wake up. It's midnight. I'm like, got heartburn. And I'm like, go get me some Pepto-Bismol, some Tums or something. So when I'm telling her this, I'm panicking, but I don't realize it. I'm like, hurry up, I'm getting snappy. And I'm like, hurry up, you got it? Shit, I'm trying to get rid of this heartburn. So I walk downstairs with her. She find me some shit. I'm Googling how to get rid of heartburn. It's like baking soda and water. I'm drinking that. And she give me some Tums. I'm trying that, Pepto-Bismol. And so it's not, the pressure not going away. It's not going away. It's like burning. Like, I only had heartburn probably one time in my life before, a couple of times. And that's what it felt like. So I kneeled down on my couch and I see how people die. They have a heart attack. So I kneeled down. I'm on my knees on my couch like this. And it's relieving it. It's feeling better. And I started sweating after about 30 minutes, profusely, right? Then I got nauseated. Then I went to the kitchen and just threw up everywhere, projectile, threw up. And she like, oh no, let's go to the hospital. And luckily, my mother and father-in-law that's here now from Croatia was at the house. Because we wouldn't know what we would have did with the kids there. So she took me to the hospital. And on the way to the hospital, I had to say I died. Like I blacked out. I don't remember nothing until she got me to the door of the hospital. I ain't thinking nothing. I'm thinking it's heartburn. I get in there, they strap me up. Bro, in 10 minutes from when I walked in the door, I was in surgery. They like, oh, you having a heart attack. I thought it was a conspiracy. I'm like, man, this heartburn, bro. Y'all just see a buff motherfucker. Y'all want to. Wow. I thought it was a conspiracy. And yeah, man, so, and during the surgery, they got you woke. It's the weirdest I ever experienced in my life. They give you some type of anesthesia where you woke. So I'm woke. He going through my leg. I don't feel nothing in my lower extremity. So I'm turned sideways, throwing up on all the walls. They cleaning up as I'm throwing up. And he do the surgery in like 10 minutes. I'm done. He put a stent in. Left artery was 100% clogged. And yeah, I was still in disbelief. You know what I mean? And yeah, so you figure all of my childhood eating bad, prison, eating bad, get out of prison, eating bad, then, I'm going to start bodybuilding, started steroid. Add that on top of it. So I told you, by the time I was in Vegas in 2016, my foot and ankle and calf just stayed swole. And I would contribute it to the heat in Vegas, the air in Vegas. Right. I would try to lower my sodium intake and, and so I moved back from Vegas to LA in 2020 during the pandemic. And it was better when I moved back because I wasn't consuming as much sodium or chicken or none. I was eating basically just kind of fish at that time. And yeah, man, that happened November 2021. Changed the trajectory of my life. I never in my life thought I would have a heart attack or a health problem.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man.
Wow.
Man, that is an interesting story right there.
Yeah, it's wild.
So I see why it was 180 when it came to what you're putting in your body. So
Yeah.
it made it very easy for you to make that switch.
Without a doubt. Because I want to, maybe I tell people if it wasn't for my kids, maybe I would have been a dumb bodybuilder and just kept going. Like I see a lot of my friends that died did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to live for them long as possible.
Yeah. Well, let's talk fatherhood.
Yeah.
Kids, how old are they now?
4 years old. Christmas, baby. Turned 4 on Christmas.
Turned 4 on Christmas.
Wow.
Like we talked about, that's a blessing in disguise. You just got to get presents one day.
Well, I paid to have my kids. I did IVF, so yeah, I paid to have a problem.
Yeah. And you said twins, right?
Yeah, boy and a girl.
Double trouble.
Yeah.
How has fatherhood changed Kali?
Dramatically, man. I was basically just a selfish guy, wanted to get rich, to live a comfortable life for myself. And that put everything in perspective. With me getting luckily I got life insurance before the heart attack.
Okay.
Or I wouldn't have been able to get life insurance.
Yeah.
So once we knew she was pregnant, I got my life insurance. I got the trust account. Got all my business in order. And so it definitely pressed me and at that time I was 44. Yeah, 44, and just was getting my life in order. Because, just messing around in prison and street life, I wasn't handling business like I should have been. And so, yeah, just compassion for humanity. Now I look at people like, what if that's my child? Or what if that was my son or daughter and things of that nature, which I always loved humanity, always been compassionate to humanity. But it just elevated it to the utmost. Yeah. I'm able to live my childhood that I didn't have again. Have fun, do kid stuff. So it's amazing, man.
Do you see yourself outside of yourself in the kids?
Without a doubt. Oh, yeah, especially my son.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, when I want to get upset with him, I'm like, well, I was probably the same way.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, my daughter just a loving, how daughter, they just loving and caring.
Yeah.
But boys, they hard-headed.
And you realize, what I realized is just how smart they are so young. They're like a fresh canvas, and everything that they're observing from you right now is downloading in them.
That's right.
And I think it's kind of like a perfect time. You're changing your life, especially from a healthy standpoint, because, growing up, if parents aren't privy or understanding about eating right and eating healthy, they pass it on.
That's right.
I remember eating Church's chicken,
everything.
Popeyes chicken.
Oh, my stepdad, he was from Texas, so we was eating whole pigs. He was from the nose to the toot, Rudy to the tootie. They say,
So that's good, man. Well, wrapping it up here, Kali, I always ask this question, and if you can go back and speak to 20-year-old Kali, what advice would you give 20-year-old Kali? What would you do different?
I would tell him to stay patient. Money go come. Because my whole thing all my life was money and doing dumb to get it. Because you got to understand, I came up in a family. My mother was a nurse. She was making a minimum $100,000 a month. My stepfather had his own business. So he stayed with a wad of money. We had at least, at all times, 4 cars. Okay. Cadillacs, Benzes, nicest house on the block. I dressed in designer as a kid. But my mother, which I thank her for now, she wouldn't give me that money. I'll never forget going to junior high, and when I went to junior high, everybody was selling dope. Or there was a rich dope kingpin kid. So they driving Benzes at 13, 14 and big donkey chains on and all, designer clothes. My mother wouldn't give me that money. So I never forget my first day at junior high, I went to go buy a lunch, some chili cheese fries. They like, oh, that'll be $5. All she gave me was $2. So I was embarrassed. I went home, Ma, I need like $5 a day. She's like, that's all I'm giving you, motherfucker. So I started shooting dice for money. Right. And that my money, I was getting banked up then. Right. So she doing what she did caused me to be a hustler. But it ended up biting me in college because I called her and needed help. Like I need a few $100s and she denied me and I went and robbed somebody. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. So what I would tell myself is be patient. You know what I mean? The money go come. Just be patient because, it just, I look back, even to this day, like I'm not where I want to be financially, but I know the test that God go give me and the test the devil go give me. So I'm conscious of it now. Right. Like I just sit back. I've been in situations even when Kali Muscle was Kali Muscle where my money was stupid low. And I just kept on the grind, kept hustling, and boom, it pop up. Right. Right. So, I would just tell myself, be patient, stay doing what you're doing. Because I was on my way to the NFL. I was just way far superior than everybody. My work ethic, my strength, my discipline. So, I would have went to the NFL, no doubt. But, man, it just my decision. And people say God had a plan. No, I messed up the plan. It just I got back on track. You know what I mean? And he allowed me to live to get back on track. Right. Because I've been in situations where I'm not even supposed to be here today. Yeah.
So be patient.
Be patient.
And
stay
consistent with whatever you're doing, and it's going to pay off.
That's right. Yeah, and that's how my life is now. Like I'm being patient but working diligently. Right. You know what I mean? And it pays off on a daily basis. Well,
yeah, man, that's a wonderful message, and it just holds true no matter what day and age it is.
Yeah,
I feel like nowadays everything's so microwave. Everybody wants success. Yeah. Right off the bat.
Exactly.
And it just doesn't work out that way.
Nah, it don't. And then if you do, that's like I tell people in the program, you could blow up overnight. But you gotta, what you gonna do to keep it up? Right. You know what I mean? We always see these people blow up on social media, be here one day, gone tomorrow. It's because they didn't have a plan, to back it up. Like me, I blew up on YouTube with my documentary. So luckily I was with a smart young guy that did it. He's like, oh, we gotta do videos now. We gotta do them now. We gotta stay on top of it. Right. And that's what we did, and I was able to, be who I am today because of that, him being wise. Because I would have blew up and did a video a month from then, or you know what I mean? Right. And so, you just got to stay on it, man. Every day is a new day.
Right on. Well, Kali Muscle, that's all I got for you.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate you,
Much
man,
love,
for your
baby.
time.
Oh, yeah.
Good story, good testimony.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's powerful there, brother.
Oh, yeah.